We're going to talk all about the next upcoming release for the Dragon Ball Saga campaign on Dragon Ball Legends in today's video, in which I hope you guys enjoy. Let's hop right in. So this is currently what we got for the Dragon Ball Saga. It's not inspiring. Kid Goku got an equip. Kinda. It's okay, right? I guess I can't really judge the equip for Kid Goku until the next release, right? So let's take a look at, and by the way, the King Piccolo is okay. I just refuse to. I don't really feel like playing his event or anything like that. Anyway, let's take a look at the reveals and stuff announcements. So not really much here. This will be in a couple of days, so obviously we'll talk about it more then when we get the actual reveal and what's in here. But they do mention that there's more than one character, which shouldn't come as a real surprise. I am expecting this to be an LF release, and we're going to kick off the campaign with our first real character, because King Piccolo doesn't really count, on a couple of days. So what are we getting? That's the question. Now, this is what we have here. But there is so much more that they can add from Dragon Ball Saga, just so much. They haven't touched the tournaments. There's so much stuff. So that's the jump, off the jump, the very first things I want to say. So, like, I would love to get 23rd World Tournament characters, Goku, Piccolo, those are obvious. Or even the tournament prior, like a TN would be so good. So good. So there's so much stuff, like I said. There's also the demon characters, like, you know, like a drum, tambourine, these characters, if they want to do that. There probably wouldn't be like a big release, obviously. But yeah, there's a lot of potential for characters. And also, we don't have stuff like a Jackie Chun. Dude, where's my Jackie Chun? I need it. But one thing that happened in this update was the addition of a Dragon Ball tag. This here probably is the most telling thing that's going to tell you what we're getting. Obviously, everything in this video is speculation, but I think the inclusion of this tag tells you everything you need to know. So this is a Saga tag. So just to kind of reiterate, we have the Dragon Ball Saga episode. That's not a tag, right? But obviously you can build a team around it because there's Z ability buffs for that episode, like there are for a ton of others. In fact, we're getting a full campaign for it. But for reference, we don't have a Dragon Ball Z character tag. We don't have a Dragon Ball Super character tag. So why would they add a Dragon Ball character tag? Well, to answer the question, this here is very, very relevant because they are going to be adding characters that are not from Dragon Ball Saga because they don't technically take place in the original episodes or the original manga from that you know, the Dragon Ball story. They don't technically take place there. Well, what am I getting at? I'm talking about the rendition to Path of Power. So that is basically like a retelling of that early portion. It includes all the characters, or a lot of the characters like Ader and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that's what we're getting. I think the next release will be Path to Power. So let's go ahead and shoot over to what that idea could be. So if you're not familiar with what this is, like I said, it's basically a retelling of the early portions of Dragon Ball where you've got Kid Goku and stuff like that. He's dressed like GT Goku, I guess, but no, it's not GT Goku. But anyway, it's basically just a retelling of that part of the story. There are obviously changes and other things that take place, but it's basically Kid Goku. So with that being Kid Goku, but it being not the original story, and with it being obviously having some differences, I think this is very likely. These characters would just get... So like, I don't know if this actually counts as one of the films, the original. Like, I don't know if these characters would be sagas from the movies. It's kind of tricky. They're saying here that it is actually a movie, but there's like episode sagas. Like, for example, History of Trunks isn't a movie, right? That's actually an anime special. That's not a movie. The Bardock quote unquote movie is not a movie. That's an anime special. There was 13 original movies. I'd have to go back and go through the full list, but I was pretty sure the 13th one was Wrath of the Dragon. And we do have a few Dragon Ball movies, but I don't think this is in that list. So it's kind of weird. I don't know if there'll be episodes. Like, if we go to the game, there are, like, if we pull up Bardock, to reiterate, I was just talking about how Bardock is not a movie character because his movies are not movies, right? Anyway, so he's got anime original. So I don't really know if that's what's going to happen or what. But that is worth note because that could greatly change the teams for the Goku. But it's implied that it is a movie because apparently it had a theatrical run for the 10th anniversary of Dragon Ball. So let's shoot over, and I've been playing a ton of Dokkan, enjoying it a lot. But Dokkan has some of these characters from Path to Power as well. So here's a look at Oolong. I don't know if we'll get Oolong. Oolong could be super duper fun, but kind of one of those, I don't really know if I'm too worried about the size on this guy because we got characters that are big like Orange Piccolo. So it's not like he's got to be crazy, I guess. I'd have to go back and double check. If I recall correctly, actually, this Oolong was massive, like giant size. So maybe not really, I don't really think that would come. We have Yamcha and Puar. We have General Blue, which these are characters we don't have. Like a tag. Not a tag. It would have to be assist because Puar wouldn't really do anything. Or it could be just Yamcha and have Puar just part of the animation sometimes. Like, I don't know, maybe he throws a rock or something. You have General Black or Staff Officer Black. Ader here. And then also they have this nice card art with Kid Goku and all those characters. And let's take a look at some of the super attacks as well. Ooh, the OST is so good. I love it. A power pole. Do we have... No, I was going to say, do we even have power pole in the game? We do. We do. It's just not really prominently featured. Roshi. This is so funny seeing all these characters popping up in one character. I absolutely want to summon for this character. I don't care how good they are or aren't. I just want them. I want them really bad. Really bad. So the reason I'm partially showing this, if you're wondering, wait, why are we watching Dokkan? is because I want to show you an example of the characters and some of the animations they could put in the game. All right, and there's one more. So that Kamehameha is the most iconic thing from that movie. You've probably seen that before and maybe just didn't even know where it was from. So, like, that is for sure. When we get a Goku, because it's going to be a Goku LF, most likely, that would be the attack. It's going to be that Kamehameha. That's just the most iconic thing he does, right? So, yeah. So, with that being the case, I honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I wanted to get on here and give you a bunch of options, but the Dragon Ball tag sways me because the Dragon Ball tag doesn't need to be there for anything else. There's literally no other reason. Like I said, we don't have a Dragon Ball Z tag. Nothing else matters, right? And also, this is why I don't think they'll be movie characters because, like I said, I don't believe they're part of the original 13 movies anyway. It's kind of like a side movie. But anyway, if that was the case, they would just make the movie characters like every other movie character in the game. They didn't need to produce, for Lord Slug, they didn't need to produce a Dragon Ball Z tag. Like, that, to me, is the biggest thing. Now, okay, because I do want to throw a bone. Even though I've made it very clear, I don't think there's any reason for this tag to exist other than to add Dragon Ball characters that don't take place in the Dragon Ball saga, that are also not going to be a part of the movie because they're going to be anime original. I assume that's the case. Anyway, moving on. I do want to throw a bone. I talked about some other stuff I would love to see. There's so much potential with this arc that I think that if it's not that, they could do one of those tournaments and make it really, really awesome. So I do want to throw that bone as a possibility. I also want to throw the possibility that it's not just a full Path to Power banner. There's a chance that we get like the Goku from that movie and they put like, I don't know, King Piccolo on the banner or something. There's a chance they do stuff like that. It doesn't have to be like Goku, Ader, and Yamcha. It doesn't have to be Goku, Yamcha, and one of the Red Ribbon guys. It doesn't have to be something specific like that. It could be a mixture. It could be a version of like Jackie Chun with the Goku or something. Like it could be a lot of different things, right? It doesn't have to be specific to that movie or whatever it is. I'm gonna keep just bouncing around that. Anyway, moving on. So if it is Path to Power, this is the last point. I've showed you guys a lot of different options for things that they can do. what other LF would you think that they could potentially do? I really liked Dokkan's idea of putting all those characters in one. Now, they wouldn't do that in Legends. I was hoping they would actually kind of do something like that for the Ginyu Force, but no, they wouldn't do that in Legends. But what they could do for Legends specifically, to kind of show a lot of representation for other characters, is similar to what they did on Bergamo. When this guy goes for his super attack, his brothers pop in for his super attack, and super attack, too much Dokkan. His blue card, his special move. Oh my god. It's really funny. Anyway, when they pop in for his special move, when he does it, they pop in. So like there's representation there. They could do something like that, because that's what Dokkan did. They had like all those other characters as a part of the animations and stuff, and it actually was pretty cool. And then other things are triggering in that game, you know, when he had certain allies alongside him, and it was triggering other animations. So anyway, that doesn't really matter too much here. But yeah, I think there's a lot of different avenues. But above all else, if I have to throw a meter out there of like how sure I am, if that tag wasn't there, I would throw a billion different possibilities to what this could be. But I think that tag exists for one reason. I don't see any other way that there's any reason. Like I've said a billion times, they didn't make a Dragon Ball Super tag. There's no reason. So a Dragon Ball tag, I think, is telling, and it's all we need to know. So that's a fun, by the way, I'll finish on this. That's a fun avenue to take us, because that actually widens the possibilities for this. If they make this a decently long celebration, Dragon Ball Saga could get a lot of love here. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe, let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one.